All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Math. This is Mr. Lunsford, and let's go ahead and get started. This is the homework assigned for the evening of January 8th, 2018, and we're starting with number 29, and we're looking again at inequalities, but this time we need to draw a diagram. So this is a trapezoid. So it says, what's the possible value of x if the entire area is less than 256 square feet? So at the top here we have 16.5 feet, the bottom is 20 feet, the height is x feet. Now all I did was go to Google and I looked up the formula for a trapezoid, and that's the approach that I hope you all would use if you ever were faced with something like this on an independent project or homework or something like that. If you look at this, the top side is A, the bottom side is B, and that side there is H. So the area is A plus B divided by 2, and that whole thing times the height. So let's replace some stuff. A is 16.5 feet. Okay, B is 20 feet, and 16.5 plus 20 divided by 2 times x, because that is going to be our height. And once we put all that together, where does that 256 come in? Well, we know that the area has to be less than 256. So first, let's get rid of that equal sign. We're going to replace that with a greater than sign. Now, why are we doing that? You might think we would put a less than sign right there, but it says here the area is less than 256. So you see that 16.5 plus 20 feet divided by 2 times x. All of that is area, and the area is less than 256. See that how I put the green box up here? So if we have a is less than 256, if I switch it around as 256 is greater than A, which is why, again, we have 256 is greater than 16.5 plus 20 divided by 2 times x. Now, we can go back to our problem. All right, so here we are. I'm just going to place that problem back down here. 256 is greater than 16.5 plus 20 divided by 2, all that times x. Now, problem set, let's go ahead and solve it. And I'm showing you the pieces that I'm solving. So first is the 16.5 plus 20. That's 36.5. Then we go divide that by 2. We get 18.25. And then we can drop our parentheses. And that's just order of operations, y'all. So 18.25 times x is less than 256, or 256 is greater than 18.25x. It's the same thing. So that's our order of operations. Now let's go ahead and solve this by dividing both sides by 18.25. Whenever you divide and you have an inequality, you have to make sure as to whether your number is positive or negative. If it's negative, you have to flip the sign. Thankfully, everything here is positive, so we don't have to change anything. We have 14.03 is greater than x. Now, I'm just going to change the position here to make it easier to see. 14.03 is greater than x, or x is less than 14.03. Same thing. The answer here is A. All right. We are looking again at inequality. So this is the problem. 3 times n is greater than 18. And now when we solve this one, there's only one step to take, but there's some things we have to check when we solve this. We're dividing both sides by 3, and that's the division property of inequality. There's a special rule with this one. If you are dividing by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. And what that does is account for the fact that any negative integer can be broken down into -1 times something positive. Well, flipping that sign accounts for the -1. So don't worry about that now, but it will come back later. We found out that n is greater than 6. And the answer is I, because the number 8 is the only answer there that we have that's greater than 6. So going on to number 31. What we have to remember is that we're looking for a solution set. Now, the idea of a solution set is basically they're asking you to solve for x. What does it look like on a number line? So when we say x divided by -4 is greater than or equal to -3, we're looking for what is the answer to that. So we're doing the same thing we've been doing. So we have -4 times x divided by negative 4 is greater than negative 3 times negative 4. Now, if you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. And again, that accounts for that negative 1. So it becomes x is less than or equal to 12. And the answer is B. So what does that look like on a number line? Now, looking at this, instead of going through the answers and trying to find the one that is right, I would just graph this on a number line and then go back to see which one of the answers matches my own number line. So there's our 12. It's a closed circle because it's less than or equal to, and we fill all the way into negative infinity. All right, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will talk to you again in 24 hours.